Kamen Rider Zeztz episode 33 makes the case for why we need fiction. Why we need Tokusatsu, maybe. Why we need Henshin Heroes, maybe. Why we need Kamen Rider, I don't know. Definitely why we need fiction as a whole. I was even going to throw in there, is it, children's media that we need? I don't know that it's necessarily children's media. This kind of story works best, I think, in children's media, perhaps, because children are open to believing the impossible, and the approach that Takahashi took for this is good enough. Perhaps it's just good enough. Perhaps it's just good enough on a logical level, but there's something magical, there's something beautiful about really the idea of not giving up. The idea of persistence, the idea of believing in the miracle that if you just keep trying and if you fight, you are going to be able to win and that you're going to be able to overcome impossible odds. Last episode, when Sieg had Zero in captivity, he told him, bad dreams overcome good dreams. And Zero responded, good dreams overcome bad dreams. Or maybe it was the other way around. And it's interesting because both can do either, or either one works. But what's the truth? What really works? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Maybe it depends on your perspective. This story in this episode, I think, seeds the perception, the point of view that the good guys win and the bad guys lose. But more than that, that if you have the stick-to-itiveness and you believe in yourself and you believe in your dreams and you work towards them, you can achieve them. And you will achieve them. And I think that's beautiful. I think children should have those sorts of messages. They should be told that if you work hard, you can get what you want. You can achieve what you want. It's a very hopeful message. It's a very positive message. It's a foundation. It's a foundational teaching. And it's really like the bedrock to society. If people don't believe that they can accomplish things, then the likelihood is that they'll never strive or try to accomplish these things. And if they don't, the logical conclusion of that is just giving up and dying. Even if, I'm about to get real philosophical here, even if you don't let yourself die, there's a difference between surviving and thriving. And I would argue that, interestingly enough, for Japan, which is where this show is being aired, chiefly, it's the chief audience. Japan has people have been talking about Japan's population decrease and population issue, low birth rates and such for a long time. I even talked about it when I talked about why Super Sentai was ending. I think it's a perspective. It's a dimension that you don't have the people there to buy. You don't have the kids there. You don't have the correct volume of kids to buy the products that Super Sentai is making. Plus, the kids who were there, it's fractured, and there's other things that I don't want to get distracted. You can check out the Heart and Soul episodes. Maybe I'll link them in the description. But anyway, my point is, what I'm getting at is, if ultimately you choose to just give up in life and float along until you die, an old person, the likelihood of you getting married and having children and making sure that there's a next generation is pretty low, I would say. I'm going to guess that inertia doesn't just coast people into marriage and having children. And ultimately, that attitude of, I guess, apathy would lead, logically, to the death of the human species. that might sound like an extreme claim, but if you really think about it, if you never try, if you never believe that you can, if you don't believe that you can succeed, then why should you even try to achieve anything or to succeed in anything? And notice here that my definition of success is being able to have relationships with other people, meaningful relationships with other people, particularly a spouse and friends, a small, whatever size friend group, but a spouse who should be your closest friend, and then being able to have children with them who you can, have successful, meaningful relationships with and pass them on and inspire them. And speaking of which, I've spoken very harshly against Zero, and I've spoken a lot in praise of the lady, but I absolutely love the fact that Zero's message, Zero's words of anything that you imagine you can realize and anything that you can dream you can achieve is the final message that Baku is holding on to as his life is ebbing away, as he's dying, as he lays dying on the floor. After standing up to the nightmares and trying to fight them, he tried, he had grit, he had determination, and it wasn't enough because he was missing an element. And as he's dying, he goes into his subconscious and he gets visited by Fujimi, then Nausicaa, then his sister, and finally by Zero, his father. I'm eating my words here because why? I don't know. Is it because it's the deepest connection he has? Is it because it's the oldest connection he has? Is it because what he got from Zero, whether that's the bike or his father, alone, was this message of hope and persistence? I can't quite answer that, but it is beautiful to me and ironic to me that I'm turning around on Zero a little bit here, even though it's just a memory of Zero that he's having, that this message of if you can imagine it, you can realize it. If you can dream it, you can achieve it. And which he interpreted as, which Baku interpreted as, I won't give up on my dream, or I won't give up on my future, or just, I think I won't give up is what he was saying. It sounded like he said Mirai, which is future, but I don't know if that was in there or not. But it wasn't translated that way. But anyway, this idea of not giving up and just continuing to push through comes from a father to his son, and it pushes his son on to hold on to life and create this new power for himself that he's going to use. And it was just something really beautiful. And I think it's like, I would call this arrangement, this episode, this scenario, mythic. Like, this is a mythic idea. And I think mythic ideas like this are best and most meaningfully conveyed to us, to children, through stories. Which is why I go back to my idea that I brought up in the beginning, that this is making the case for why fiction matters, why it's important, why it exists, why it should exist, why it should continue to exist. And I don't know, I just thought it was an absolutely gorgeous episode. I loved seeing Baku fighting in the real world. And I loved even more watching him struggle in the dream. And we get a flash of the clock. It says 2045 by the time he's finished with Exdream. And if it's 2026 to 2045, that's 20 years. He spends 20 years in the dream working on this thing. And yet it just takes a few minutes for us to see it fold out on screen, which I really like. I love the way that stories are able to convey the passage of time, and I love that the hyperbolic language used in stories is able to make that impact on us. And I got two really strong messages from the episode, which are, one, that if you dream it, you can achieve it, and two, if you want to achieve your dream, you have to work hard, and you have to dedicate yourself, and you have to really push. And then, after a long time, and after a lot of sorrow and suffering, you can make your dream happen. And it's beautiful. I think it's the right approach to have, and it's a very valuable message to be put out there. And I thought it was really awesome. I don't have a lot to, I mean, I do have a lot to say about the rest of it, but I'm going to save that for my inspector's notes, which you can find linked in the pinned comment. Let me know what you thought about this episode, about I'm going to talk about the suit in the next episode, because we barely get to see it at the end, and I want to see it in action, and I just kind of want to save my thoughts on it. So anyway, if you want to talk about the suit, that's fine. Leave a comment about that. If you want to talk about some of these other things that I brought up, I would love to hear. I don't think I finished all my thoughts. There's some open threads there, but that's okay. We're going to leave it till next time, or maybe I'll wrap them up in the inspector's notes. So anyway, yeah. Until next time, folks, this is MJ with Rider Tears and Henshin Inspection signing out.